Unmute. Hello, hello. Share. Okay, how are we doing now?
Hi everyone, I hope you can hear me. Slight technical hitch there at the beginning. Fantastic. Well, I will welcome you all again then to a presentation all about LYNX Whiteboard. This is Clevertouch's very own presentation software. This presentation has a slight US theme to it, because we're hosting this at 6 p.m. in the UK, but still early in the day over in the States. But you're welcome from anywhere in the world, because LYNX Whiteboard, our presentation software, is free for absolutely anybody to download it onto almost any device, as I'll explain in a moment. And this presentation could be about a school day anywhere in the world, because what I'm hoping to show you is that you can use LYNX Whiteboard as not only presentation software at the front of the class, but also as an app that the students can use on their devices in almost any lesson. That's the aim of this. My name's Gareth Middleton, and I was a primary school teacher for 24 years here in the UK until I joined Clevertouch 2 years ago. And now my role is to go around schools doing demonstrations such as this, and also doing the training for all of the teachers. So let me tell you some reasons why I really like LYNX Whiteboard before we launch into LYNX and have a look at just what it can do. So firstly, as I mentioned, it's free at the moment to download onto a number of devices. So that's Apple devices, Android devices, phones and tablets, MacBooks, Chromebooks, Windows devices. So that's your desktop PCs and your laptops. You can even get it on Amazon Fire tablets as well. And the great thing is it looks the same across all of those platforms. It's really intuitive and quick and easy to pick up. And because it's totally free, you can get the students to use it. So very often we say to schools, look, we'll come back and we'll do a parents workshop, or we'll do student workshops, train some of your students to be tech ambassadors, get everyone using LYNX Whiteboard. And hopefully you'll see the power of LYNX Whiteboard as I go through this presentation. Also, when you create your account with LYNX Whiteboard, that account, you can sign in onto all the other devices where you have LYNX Whiteboard. So for example, on my phone, I could start to create a presentation, save it to the LYNX cloud that you get, open it up on my laptop and finish off the presentation on there, save it to the cloud again, and then open it up directly in our Clevertouch boards, for example, because with our Impact boards, you can download the LYNX Whiteboard app and open files up directly there, no other device needed. For information on LYNX Whiteboard and our Impact screens, just go to clevertouch.com and you'll find links there to everything that I'll be showing you throughout the presentation. Okay, so the other reason I really love this is because you can turn any boring linear presentation into an interactive activity. Hence the reason why I said that it's not just a front of class tool, it's a tool where you can give children files on their devices and they can interact and join in with you. So I'm in a presentation here. Let's go into the school day with LYNX Whiteboard. So we're going to flow into the next slide. It's almost 9 a.m. So let's follow these three children as they head for their schools. Ruby, age 6, is going to go to her elementary school. So she's the first onto the bus, very keen and excited. Next is Curtis, age 9. He's heading for middle school. And finally, we have Marie, age 13, who is going to go to the high school there. So very quickly, I'm going to link our characters together into the bus. You'll notice that when you're playing around with LYNX, all of the tools for any items come up underneath. And once you've learned what the symbols do, very intuitive. So now the bus can drive off and take our three characters to the school. And just by pinching slightly on the screen, I can shrink the bus down and we can get the right perspective as they pull up outside the schools. Fantastic. Now, I'm going to flow into the elementary school. Let's follow Ruby now. So Ruby is using a rainbow pen and sound buttons to develop her handwriting and phonics skills. So here, we've actually got a little video. This is being created using a tool called the LYNX Screen Recorder. It's something else you can download, primarily for MacBooks and Windows devices. So Ruby could be watching a video exactly showing her how to use her pen. Teachers, when they use a LYNX screen recorder, can record their voices as well. Very useful during lockdown when teachers needed to send content out to students. I'm sure you can see. When Ruby thinks she's got a handle on it, she can minimize the video and then she can have a go herself. So we've got annotation tools here. So Ruby can start having a go doing her own handwriting directly on her touchscreen device. Also, because this is linked to phonics, we can listen to some sound buttons that will reinforce that phonics.
U for moon. U for flu. U for blue.
All the sources I've created, that was my daughter's voice there, so thank you to Luna. And you can have these sound buttons very easily so that you can really bring it alive. So you've got 3 different ways of interacting with the screen here, all on one slide. Let's carry on and find out what's happening. Meanwhile, Curtis's teacher has opened a Google Docs file in LYNX and is using pen tools and clever content to annotate on the text. So opening up a Google Docs file, here it is. So this is an actual Google Docs that I've been able to open directly in LYNX. So normally you can only open such files as Google Slides, Google Docs on a browser, but you can open up these files within LYNX Whiteboard and then be able to annotate on them. LYNX Whiteboard will also open your historic files. So it'll open up Word documents, PowerPoints, Smart Notebook files, and coming soon, Active Inspire files as well, which is fantastic. So here I am as the teacher now, showing Curtis and his peers this document, and I've used a highlighter here to single out the first paragraph. I'm going to do the same again. We're just going to stop presenting for a moment, and I'm going to use the same tool. So it lives in here. Here it is, the block highlighter. So I'm going to use it to highlight this third paragraph here. So I can say to the children, all right, everyone, what are the purposes of these 2 paragraphs? I want you to think really closely. So now, if I get the pen here, we might say, right, look at the language in this first paragraph. It was a damp, chilly night, and as I lay cozy and snuggled in my bed, I heard a strange clanking sound. Slowly, I crawled out of bed and tiptoed to the window. This is all about setting the scene. So we'd say, yeah, this pink paragraph is our setting, and it's a great way to start a story. What about this paragraph? Suddenly a hatch burst open and a weird, slender alien climbed out using its small, sharp claws. This is describing a character. So we're introducing a character here. So I can write anywhere I like on the screen and add content. So very easy, the teachers can annotate on top of the documents that they want to open up within LYNX Whiteboard. Okay, let's go back to our main presentation now. And let's see where we're going to go next. So we have got Marie has been asked to complete a famous haiku using the text recognition pen. This is another one of our tools. Here it is, the text recognition pen. This is a famous haiku by Kobayashi Issa called Everything I Touch. Everything I touch with tenderness, alas, pricks like a bramble. So by handwriting the words in there, this will then turn into the font of your choice. So transform it into the same font used in the document. Okay, let's move on. Next now we've got maths, or math, as you say over in the States. Next, Marie is using the shape split tool and a protractor to explore the angles related to fractions of a circle. So we're going to split these shapes. So if I go back out to my tools here, I have a shape split tool as well as a knife and various prop tools. If I click inside this shape and move my finger around, you'll see that I'm splitting up into smaller and smaller pizza slices. Let's do the same again for this one. We'll go for 12ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one more. Do it 12. So now I can use the protractor here to go to one of the segments, and we're going to work out exactly what that angle is. So I can use these little nodes to help me as well. So even if the protractor doesn't quite sit on exactly where you want it to, I can use these nodes to do so, and it will help us measure the shape. I can stamp that angle on there as well. So we know that that internal angle is 60 degrees. So if I go back to my pens, I'll be able to annotate that straight on to there. And it also lists where it says percentage there, which is another feature where I'll be able to actually click on the angle and maybe change the measurements that we're looking at here. So we can look at that percentage of the circle going round. I think I've just changed it a little bit. So we'll leave that. So another really nice tool there, the shape split tool. So let's move on. And we're going to go back to presenting now, the presentation mode. Because when I'm in presentation mode, what you'll notice is there's lots of things on the screen I can't touch or mess around with. So when the children are using one of the activities, they can't destroy everything you've made for them. However, some things you can make movable. So for example, while Ruby's looking at this example, she'll notice the sum here, and these text boxes over here are movable. So for 23, we need a 20 and we need a 3. But what about to build up the numbers? Well, these boxes here are on a replicate, so we can pull out 2 10s and we can pull out how many ones we need. So Ruby can see that she needs 3 1s. The great thing as well when you're making a slide like this is it doesn't take long, and when you've made one, you can just duplicate the slide and then just go in and click and change the numbers, so you can very quickly make extra resources. So once you've done a bit of groundwork and made one resource, you can use it over and over again. Okay, let's move on. I'm in hiding the slides somewhere on each screen, so let's see if we can spot them each time. Okay, Curtis is also doing math. He's showing his teacher his mastery of telling the time using these interactive clocks. So he's got to show 20 past 4. We've got 4 o'clock now, so he's going to move the minute hand so it's showing 20 past. And he's got to do 22:11, so at 10 o'clock, we're going to go all the way around to the 8. The great thing about using these clocks for telling the time is you can remove hands. There's a second hand you can put on there. You can have the clocks live so that they're playing, but also you can remove, say, the minute hand. So you can teach children the importance of what the hour hand on its own shows you, which I think personally is the first step to teaching children how to tell the time. You can tell the time just with the hour hand. Little tip there for you all. All right, we'll move on. Oh, let's see if I can spot the next slide. Here it is. So after recess, Ruby is learning to recognize and sort different types of instruments. So the different instruments are in their groups: brass, wind, string, and percussion. And the teacher can give an example of these instruments. And again, I'm hoping that my presentation but more like this. So at the same time now, the children could be moving these words to match them to the instruments that they're hearing as the teacher shows them to them. So a really nice little activity, either for the teacher to use in front of the class or for the children to do themselves. So where have I hidden the next activity? Right, now we're going to design technology with Marie. I'm not sure what design technology might be called in other countries, so that's what we call it over here in the UK. So if Marie was learning about the different components and systems within a car, I've layered them all onto here. I found some diagrams that kind of show a car in different levels. So we can look at the exterior of a car, and then I can just pull this away and I can shrink it out as I do so. And then we've got the interior here. We're looking at the interior of the car, and we've got a little cutaway hinting at the engine. Now, if I want to have a closer look at that, another thing I could do is I can go to this transparency slider, and we can actually make that layer transparent. So we can peer into that next layer there. If I just make that a little bit more clear, I can bring that down, pop it over there, bring it back to full opacity as well. There we go. So we can do this with each layer. Got the opacity or transparency slider, so you can look at the next level of these. So there, we're getting rid of the engine and drive line, so we can look just at the suspension system as well. Okay. Next. Spanish. Curtis is using movable word cards to create simple sentences in Spanish. So he might say, my daughter, a bit young to have a daughter, is, it's muy, let's have a look. Divertidas, very fun, and his grandmother is 4. There we go. So you can make things like this very quickly and easily as well. So very useful for any kind of language lesson, whether it's, you want to make a phonics thing within the main language within your country, or, things like this for teaching foreign languages too. So where have I hidden the next slide? Here it is. So we're back now after lunch with Curtis, and he's using replicating shapes to create a portrait in the style of Picasso. So on his slide, he's got some examples of Picasso's paintings, which he can't mess with. He can't touch these, but he can take these replicating shapes. And when the children are using a touch screen, it really is a bonus, because it means that they're able to twist the shapes and make them grow and expand, so they can have some real fun with it. So if I want to make some nice juicy lips here, my little picture, I can do so very easily. And let's give our character a nose. Anything can be put on a replica as well, very easily. So even this squiggle here to create the hair. Fantastic. All right, let's move on to the next slide, which is hiding there. So, drama class. Marie and 3 friends are presenting their thoughts on some of the key scenes in Macbeth. So here we have Macbeth walking through the swamp, and he comes across the 3 witches who are hubbling and bubbling and toiling over their cauldron, Eye of Newt and Wing of Bat. And Macbeth wants to know if actually they've got a vegan option as well. And then, of course, he can use this hyperlink to go back home. Lady Macbeth has called him home for his tea. And he can come and tell her about what kind of day he's had. They can begin plotting. And here, waiting in the wings, on the transparency slider, is Banquo's ghost, ready to do some haunting. Okay, hidden in the picture here on the wall of the castle is a segue into gym class. Ruby is watching a video her teacher found in the content media search on how to perform different types of role. So all we have to do is copy that here.
One of the first things you learn in gymnastics.
Okay, sadly we don't have time to learn one of those first things in gymnastics. But what I hope you noticed is that it is a YouTube video and there were no adverts. So the adverts are stripped away by any videos that you embed in directly from our media search built into links, and it won't jump to the next video afterwards. So those 2 big distractions are taken away. Let's jump to the next slide. This slide is really important because it's one of the main things that really excites me about what you can do with these interactive slides. History and computing, I've merged both of these together. So in the UK now, we call IT or ICT, we call it computing a lot now, especially in primary schools. So it's a history lesson. There's lots of history content here. So Marcus can do some research, but also his teacher could be teaching him how to create his own interactive file to show off his own research and make it interactive for anyone that comes across his presentation. And the reason for that is these flows into other content that you can create. It's very easy to do. So on this page alone, we can start off going into our stimulus for the lesson, this painting of lots of the Greek gods up on Mount Olympus. And shrink that down. If we don't know the names of any, we need to do some research. So here is a PDF that I dropped onto my page. There are 24 pages in this PDF. So we can go through all of those. Then when we've done researching, we can come out and then we have a choice. These are the next 3 slides in our presentation. Where should we go? Let's learn about Hades. We can have a closer look at him. And then we can go back via a hyperlink. And now we can choose maybe to go to Aphrodite and learn all about her. And then let's move on. And we'll see what Marie's doing. So Marie is using the split screen browser on a Chromebook to research Paris. So she's been asked to do that for her geography lesson. So let's help her out. So we're going to stop presenting and we're going to go to the dashboard. Now, when you first create an account with LYNX Whiteboard and open up LYNX Whiteboard for the first time, this is what you see, where you can create a new file, open files, join some games, which I'm going to show you in a moment. There's lots of interactive games that you can have. And very soon, you're going to be able to share lessons live to students that have a LYNX account, and they'll then will be able to join in live to your session. And that's coming very soon. Meanwhile, though, we're going to go to the browser. I can choose, do I want it in its own window, or should I split screen with something else that I've already got open? So I'm going to split screen. I'm now going to go back to my presentation. So I want to search for Paris attractions. So I'm going to handwrite that in here. I could go to my laptop where I'm casting from and search there too, but it's just nice and easy for me to do it here. So Paris attractions, let's search. So this then will take me to a web page, and I can scroll down and look for some facts all about Paris attractions. Now, if I just pop over to my laptop, I could just pick up an image and I could drag it straight over. So hopefully you can see that there. And I could do the same with text as well. So on a Windows device or a MacBook, I'd be able to drag text and it'd be a live text box. However, if you're on a touchscreen device, what you might want to do instead, if I can move that somewhere out of the way, maybe down there. I'm going to instead use this capture tool here. Where is my capture tool? I've created the capture window, so I can move this around the screen now. Now that I'm back on my touchscreen device, my impact screen, and I can decide what I'd like to capture, hit the capture button, and it will show me what I've captured, and I can accept that, and I can say, please paste it into my page. So now I've got both of these, they're ready to use. And as I say, I can capture text in the same way and bring it into my presentation. So very quickly, not only is Marie able to do her research, but she can create a presentation with that research at the same time. And then when you're done using that, we're able to say, okay, we're going to get rid of split screen now. We don't want the browser anymore. Okay, let's go to the next slide. We're going to go back and start presenting again. We're not creating now, we're just enjoying the slides. So it's science next. Coincidentally, both Curtis and Marie finished the day off exploring scientific simulations from the PhET activities found in games. So Curtis is designing circuits while Marie is exploring the way gas molecules behave. So let's have a look at some of these games here. So here is the one that Curtis is using. So it's all about electrical circuits. Something is missing here to help him make this. Now, of course, we could just join the wires, but what we really need in any good circuit is a switch. So if we bring this switch out here and we link it up to the two ends there, then we should be able to, when we activate the switch, be able to get the bulb to light there. So fantastic. And now if we pop over to the activity that Marie is looking at. So we've got some blue particles of one type of gas that's been pumped into this container with a lid on it. So now I'm going to pump in some red particles as well, add a bit of pressure in there too. So we're going to fill that up with red particles. And now here, I've got the ability to heat this container. And as you can see, the pressure is rising, the heat is rising as well. So before long, before you know it, it's going to literally blow its lid, I hope. So we'll see what kind of pressure it gets to. So the heat's rising up, it's approaching 600 degrees Kelvin, and the lid has literally been blown off the building. So really nice simulations and all sorts of things in there, all designed by a company called PhET. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. Now it is nearly the end of the school day, so it's story time. Ruby and her class enjoy watching their teacher retell a favourite fairy tale. I'm sure you can all tell which fairy tale this is. So now, with the multi-point touch, we've got the three bears off for a walk. Don't forget me, says Baby Bear. Now, big multi-point touch, it means you can turn your screen into a play area, right? So this this can be your home corner where the children, whatever setting you come up with, the children can start interacting with it. So here's Goldilocks creeping through the woods, using this hyperlink to get into the house. And then, of course, she's going to be exploring the house, trying out the different chairs. Poor baby bear's chair is looking nervous. She's going to come behind this table and munch on lots of porridge till she finds some that is just right, before getting tired and eventually doing a bit of bouncing on the beds, or finding one where she feels like having a rest. Now, what she doesn't notice is that it's pop quiz time. So one nice thing that you can do, and it might be difficult for you to join in if you don't have a LYNX account at the moment, but you can create quizzes. Now, this is one of the apps that our own developers created. And what you're able to do is share the quiz so that people can join in. There'll be a bit of flickering while live on the web now. But once you are in, and my colleague Ash is just off screen and he's joining in too. So once you are into the activity, you're able to then join in. At the moment, it's not one where it will collate the data for you. It's just that bit of fun, as I said, a little quick pop quiz at the end of the session. Okay, doke. So if I go back to the quiz and we can start asking the questions. So if you, I'm just going to share again from my colleague Ash. At home, you can join in, see if you can remember, were you paying attention in all of those lessons? I know you've been to 3 different schools worth of lessons, all the different age ranges, but we'll see how you do. So, first question, how old is Ruby? I'm joining in on my device as well. So if I remember correctly, I'm going to guess that she's 6. I'll just move this out of the way. There we go. And the result shows us, yes, that was the correct answer. Next question. Which phonic sound was Ruby learning about? Or, oo, e, or oi? So, hopefully you can remember it was oo for moon, and the result proves that that's correct. Next question. What sort of poem was Marie exploring? Was it a limerick, a sea shanty, a sonnet, or a haiku? So even if you get it wrong, there, doesn't matter, it will still show you what the correct answer was. What was Curtis learning about in maths or math? Time, weight, length, or addition? If I go to the next question and I submit my answer there, and it will show the answer was, of course, time. And which of these was not featured in my LYNX presentation today? Picasso, Paris, Athens, or Macbeth? It's a bit of a trick question, but the answer is Athens. We talked about ancient Greek gods, and maybe it put you in mind of Olympus, but we didn't talk about Athens. Okay, so we've completed the quiz. So now if we go back to my presentation, we can go to the final slide where I say to you all, thank you for watching. It is the end. I zoom out of the way there, unless anybody has any questions.
Yeah, we've got some questions. One from Philip. What was the name of the LYNX Whiteboard video tool for Mac that you mentioned?
Oh yes, that's called the LYNX Screen Recorder. So if you go to lynxcloud.app, the website, there's a part that says other downloads. As you scroll down on the website, and that will take you to a page where it will have links, the LYNX Screen Recorder on there.
One from John. What can I do if I don't have a dashboard option from the menu in the bottom left?
Just stop sharing here. That might, the only reason why I can think that might be if you're on an older version of LYNX, so it might be good to delete it from your device and install it again, because then you should have that dashboard option. Now I believe that anyone who downloads LYNX on any device, and you open LYNX up as an app, seeing the dashboard is the first thing that you see. for definite. I hope that helps. If not, then please drop us an email and we'll help you out.
Another one from Philip. He says his whole school uses Clevertouch, and they're definitely underutilizing these tools. What can we do for him?
We can provide you with some training. So get in touch with our team, and either one of us in the UK demand creation team or any of our US team, or wherever you're based, we will sort you out some training. So, for example, we get to brag a moment here, but our UK demand creation team, we're kind of leading the way with training with links. Although in the States, the team over there are developing some fantastic resources training US teachers, for example. But if you're UK based or anywhere in the world, we do training for anywhere in the world. So I've done training sessions for Australia, Malta, in Greece, Poland, wherever you are, we can help you out.
Another one, what sort of files can LYNX Whiteboard open?
Okay, yeah, so they can open up Word documents, PowerPoints, PDFs, Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets. It can open up old Smart Notebook files. Active Inspire files is coming soon. I believe around the time of BET, a big AD show over here, we'll be launching that capability. Most of those documents will open up in a PDF style format, meaning that if what you wanted to open up was a PowerPoint with lots of animations and things, you would lose that once it's in LYNX anyway. So it's mainly for those things that you want to open up and annotate on or add some of our cool functionality, the LYNX functionality, over the top of your existing presentation. Smart notebook files, a lot of those will open up so that you can still move text boxes around to reposition them and the other items on the screen as well.
Thanks, Gareth. One more. Can I share files with colleagues and students?
Yes. So when you are on the LYNX cloud and you've created your account, where you've got your account sort of image of you or whatever you choose, you can tap on that and there's an organizations tab where you can start creating an email list of colleagues or students that you'd like to regularly share files with. And you can create as many groups as you like. So it's the sort of thing that could be centrally managed by someone within a school, or each teacher can manage it for themselves and the students they're regularly in contact with, or the colleagues in their faculty. And then it's really easy to do. From the LYNX cloud, you would then just select the file, go to share, and decide, are you sending it to one email address? Are you sending it to one of your groups? Are you going to QR code it to people who are in the room? And you can even send out a URL link to it as well.
Thanks, Gareth. That was it for the questions.
Oh, great. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and hopefully see you again maybe on some training further down the road. So bye everyone. Thank you.